What's up, everybody? It is I, Divine Intervention, here this week for another AEW Dynamite recap and review. Joined as always by Ollie Lee Joker. Joker, say hi to the people.
Hi to the people.
Like, share, subscribe. You see all our socials above and below. So good to see all of you guys as we do each week. In Nowlands this week, Ricky Stark's the hometown hero, and we will get to their match a little later on in the evening, but a lot to cover tonight. This is, what are they calling this? The championship week?
Yes.
Battle of the Belts will be on Saturday. And of course, Rampage. Special time this week, 7 p.m. So if you're interested. And live, yes, for Battle of the Belts will be in a different state. So the Dynamite or Rampage will be live this week. I think that'll help, especially with the Texas death match that we're supposed to be getting for the championship between Hangman Adam Page and Adam Cole. Bye. What up, Victor? Good to see you.
What's up?
All right, let's get into it. We started the evening out with CM Punk versus Penta Oscuro with Goth Alex at ringside, complete with Colt Clunk. I don't know what else you want me to say.
No, continue.
This match came to be. CM Punk issued the challenge online, asking anybody to step up and face him on Dynamite this week. And Penta was apparently quick to take up the challenge. Started things out with a slap fight, had a tope into the commercial break. Punk took a nasty spill off the top rope when we came back from the break. Looked like he might have potentially injured himself. Kind of favored the knee for the leg for the majority of that match. And then Penta tries to break the arm. There's an anaconda vice near fall. There was a GTS attempt that was blocked. And in the end, Penta goes for a move, and we get countered with the GTS for the win. Obviously, good to see Punk back in the ring, focused on his goal to get that championship. I know both of these guys are some of your favorites, so I think we talked about how you'd have no breath if we were there in person.
No, I enjoy seeing both of these guys, especially in the ring. I feel like they had a good match. I enjoyed it. I knew Punk was more than likely going over because it seems like he's a championship match or title, I don't know, bound. So, very good match. I enjoyed it. They had a bit of a brawl out on the apron at one point, and it looked like I was expecting Penta to hit that pile driver, and I was just like, please don't do it.
Yeah, neither one of them looked like they needed to be taking a move out there.
No, they didn't, because tonight's theme was just let's beat the hell out of each other, because that is all we saw, especially towards the end.
What up, Elvis? Thanks for bringing that up. Oh, man, it is good to be your 3-time UPR champ, your WrestleMania champion. Yes, thank you. No speech this evening, just happy to be back. Happy to be back in the saddle. I'd like to point out that I gave everybody else a chance by not even participating the past couple times. That's the only reason I haven't been champ this whole time. Just saying. Whatever, hater. Always in my DMs, always in my comments. Anyway. Yeah, great match. Unfortunately, as much as I love Penta, he was booked to lose in this match. You pretty much knew that, but great showing from both of them. And yeah, just another, I don't want to say stepping stone, but just another stop on CM Punk's Tour de Championship.
Indeed.
No one likes egotistic. Oh, Chris, you just said you didn't win. Next, we had a Jericho Appreciation Society promo. Jericho, Hager, and Garcia all arrived via plane. Basically, this is how sports entertainers travel. He is correct. We do see a lot of planes in sports entertainment land. Eddie Kingston and Proud and Powerful pretty much drop 2.0 off on the tarmac with no shoes. And Jericho's not happy about this. The man lost his shoes. These are they're really my guys because, that's where I'm from. But
I do root for them, yes.
I was about to say, Eddie, you love Eddie.
I do. And this was wonderful because they just sat there and beat the hell out of everybody. See, I told you, theme of the night, beat the hell out of everybody. Yeah, good match. Of course, Jericho. It seems to be a running thing now, him with the bat to, turn the table the turns.
Mm-hmm.
And Jake Hager almost got beat the hell up. I don't know if anybody noticed during the picture-in-picture, but Aubrey broke up Santana and Jake from scrapping, and Jake ran up behind her and knocked her over trying to get to Santana, and she sprung up so quick and she's like this much shorter than he is, and I mean she is just letting him have it all the way out the ring. It was amazing. I was like, ooh, undefeated in Bellator, but you're gonna get beat up by Aubrey. I'm just letting you know, bro.
Hey man, Aubrey Edwards is nobody to mess with.
Sure ain't. She's head ref for a reason.
Give the champ her flowers. I absolutely agree.
Mm-hmm.
Veer made it to AEW. This made me laugh. I'm sorry. We'll talk about
that later.
Yeah, during the main event, we will talk about Veer making his debut on AEW. Wrestling Divas will win tomorrow night. Family Feud will be at 8:30. Please join us. Myself, Wrestling Doll, and Charmaine will all be whooping ass. I'm sorry. Just catch us.
I'll be there too.
Damn, Joker, way to plug your team.
Woo!
As you can see, it's yeah. Thank you, powers that be. All right. Moving on to the next segment here, we will touch on the actual match between both the Jazz and Proud and Powerful and Eddie Kingston. They need a faction name. I'm sorry. Like, speaking about them separately, they need a fancy faction name. I don't know what it needs to be. You can talk about it in the comments if you want to. They need one. Next was reDRagon versus
On site.
Ooh, you know what? That's a good one. It's been their catchphrase the past couple weeks. That's what we're going to call them. Even if they don't take it internally, it's on site. reDRagon versus Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus for the tag titles. I am kind of with Victor on this one. Kind of talked about it a little bit earlier. All the title matches being on Battle of the Belts. I kind of agree, but at the same time, I also think this might have been their last hurrah. I kind of think that they're going to drop the titles at Battle of the Belts. Somebody's got to, it's got to switch hands, in my opinion.
Well,
you can't have No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, are we sure that we're going to have, like, how long Battle of the Belts is going to be? Because, I mean, last time it was only an hour. So, I mean, if it's because we've already got 3 matches between, we got Rosa versus Nyla for the women's title. We've got Jonathan Gresham versus Dalton Castle for the Ring of Honor Championship. And what was the last one? Oh, Sammy Guevara versus Scorpio Sky for the TNT titles. So, I mean, if we had the 2 that we had tonight, and then we got Hangman defending, that might make up championship week and then finish off with Battle of the Belts with the last couple being defended.
That makes sense. I forgot that Battle of the Belts was not particularly long, even though it is a special episode. So it would make sense if you want to have a championship week. You got to kind of spread it out a little bit. I think it's interesting the placement on some of the matches. You would think that the like the heavyweight championship would be on Dynamite since it's the number one belt, but it's very interesting that they decided to put it on Rampage because it is a live show to kind of bring more eyes to that particular program.
That, and I feel like they're always trying to make Rampage feel like the third hour as opposed to like an almost second show. You know what I mean? I feel like they really try to make it feel special, and having these big moments, you know, even though they can't do them all the time. I mean, I feel like they try and have at least one of these, at least quarterly, if you really sit back and think about it.
I agree. But tag titles on the line here. I still stick by what I stand by what I said. I think that they will probably lose them soon, maybe at Double or Nothing. I mean, it is right around the corner. It depends on who their next challengers will be. But apparently reDRagon has 10 years of experience as a tag team, so pretty impressive. Have seen them together for quite a few years. A couple highlights here. Double dragon screw on Luchasaurus's leg, one through the ropes and then one into the barricade. Looked pretty nasty. A lot of dives, outside dives. Jungle Boy with some topes. Luchasaurus did an apron moonsault. Had a final dive from Jungle Boy into the commercial. Luchasaurus with the hot tag after the break. Choke slam into the moonsault press for a near fall. That's the Luchasaurus staple at this point. He's known to fit that move or that series of moves in at least once per match.
Amazing to see every time.
Absolutely. He's a huge man.
He's 6'6".
And the way that he is able to just vert his body is just absolutely amazing. But Jungle Boy takes a tag team finisher from reDRagon. I don't know if they've actually named it yet or if that was their actual finisher, but they did a pretty sick move on him for a near fall. Avalanche Falcon Arrow over Luchasaurus. That move in particular was pretty sick.
Murdered Jungle Boy.
Yep, Jungle Boy took the Avalanche Falcon Arrow off the top rope while Luchasaurus was getting tied up by Kyle O'Reilly. Pretty sweet, but in the end, Thoracic Express for the win. Jurassic Express retain their titles for now. Who do you think their opponent's going to be?
I don't know, because I mean, at this point, they've fought just about everybody except for the House of Black.
That is true. Best Friends, I think, are kind of on a crash course with the Blackpool Combat Club, given that you had just transitioned over to their side. I'm sure that this whole feud between them isn't over, and I kind of consider
they're gonna get messed up.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty sick. Hey, good to see you. In the end, reDRagon attack after the bell with a chair, and FTR come down and get in their face. That's the end of this particular segment. But Joker, I really do want to hear from you. One, about this match. Two, who do you think are going to be the ones to take the belts off of Jurassic Express?
Match was good. reDRagon, being Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, are an amazing tag team. They have really good ring chemistry with pretty much just about anybody. They had great chemistry with Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. As far as who's going to take them off, the only people I can see would be House of Black, but yeah, House of Black's the only people that they've not really gone against yet. You know what I mean? But I don't feel like they have enough wins to warrant them having a fight yet. And they're already tied up in the middle of who is Malachi threatening today? Was it Penta?
I don't know if he really named anybody in particular. He was just kind of making open, vague threats. He was, the last thing I remember him saying was be afraid of the shadows, which was why he was alone during this promo segment. versus being flanked by the rest of the House of Black. But we'll get to that promo segment in a minute. Yeah, I don't think, though, he was talking about anybody in particular.
Okay. But anyway, yeah, I really don't have anybody because they've fought everybody pretty much at this point. Because for what it's worth, Jurassic Express has been quite the fighting champions as far as, tag teams have been concerned. Who would I like to see get them? Proud and Powerful. But I know they're wrapped up in their stuff with Jazz. And
here's the thing. The only people I've heard talk about them lately have been FTR. Do they fulfill the prophecy and become the 2-time champs on top
I was about to say, yeah, the only people that could go for it at this point are FTR because they haven't fought them in a while. As much as I want to say Blackpool, they don't have enough time between now and Double or Nothing, I feel like, to make that happen. But yeah, FTR, I mean, they're already dripping in gold.
Yeah.
They've got 2 different belts under their on them right now. They'll look even better doing some belt collector stuff, but for tag teams.
Would be very cool. Very interesting question here from Anthony as we go into the next segment. Did the Blackpool Combat Club add another member? Not this evening, but we did get a backstage segment with Tony Schiavone talking about the trios match that they will be doing or putting on Rampage against the good old ass boys. Cutting the promo that Yuta basically has been jumped in at this point. He's bled with Mox, he spat on Danielson, and they just couldn't be happier about fighting with Yuta and, bringing more glory to the name of William Regal. Absolutely no love for the ass boys. They think they're a bunch of goofs, and there need to be less goofs in AEW. Mox telling Yuta that it's time to get mean, and Yuta responding that Friday the real work begins. I think this is just the beginning for the Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah, very excited. Yuta's right. This is when the real work begins because he's had those last amazing matches. I include the one with Josh Woods for those of you who saw it. It was very great. Pure wrestling. Outstanding victory for Willie Yuta. But yeah, this is that put up or shut up time. You know what I mean? Like he's got to show that he can carry the wave that he has been put on by Danielson and Moxley. So this, as much as that fight he had with Moxley was, super influential in how people are perceiving him right now, I feel like it's also very important for him to come out swinging in this one and really show off, I'm still that guy. I can stay that guy and, sustain this character change to sustain the push. Yeah, for sure. He's got to embody this, the aura that this new group has about them. And put up or shut up. I think it's time for him to rise to the occasion. I think he will. Got the backing of the crowd finally. That was the last thing I was going to say. Most definitely. Anthony, I agree. He never looks like he wants to be there. And yes, he looks like he wants to murder something because something's in his pants. I also appreciate how much enthusiasm Danielson put in when he said that Yuta had spat in his face. He sounded so proud and he sure did. Fired up about it. You bled with Moxley. You spit in my face. It's just happiness all around. He was a proud papa. And look, Puerto Rican Princess absolutely wants to see her friends Santana and Ortiz as the next tag team champion. So that's 2 in the box, the column for P&P. I think they could be strong contenders once they break away from all this Jericho business. All right, good people. I think this might be a good time to stop. Stick with us, and we'll be right back after these messages.
I get paid to talk.
What do you talk about?
I speak on behalf of cigarettes.
My mommy says that cigarettes kill.
Now, is your mommy a doctor?
No.
Well, she doesn't exactly sound like a credible expert now, does she?
I front an organization that kills 1,200 people a day.
Dad, I want to see what you do.
The message Hollywood needs to send out is smoking is cool. You can put the sex back into cigarettes.
Get a flight to L.A., I'll get you a meeting with Hollywood super agent Jeff McGowan.
Michael Jordan plays ball. Charles Manson kills people. I talk.
Thank you for smoking.
Welcome back, everybody. AEW Dynamite Recap and Review. Like, share, subscribe. Follow us above and below. All social medias are available. Moving on in the evening here for Dynamite, we had another backstage segment with Tony Schiavone. This time with this time with Tony Storm and Jamie Hayter cutting a promo about the Owen Hart tournament. First round match is going to be the two of them. We don't really know who else is going to be even qualify for this yet. Wait, no, we do know that Sheeta is one other qualifier, but we don't have another opponent for her yet. So currently the only match listed is now this one between Tony Storm and Jamie Hayter due to fan outcry. Apparently it was very popular online, and Tony Khan booked the match. But Jamie is glad. She realizes that the two of them are very similar. They've kind of cut their paths in Japan, and both have accents, so very similar. Sorry,
They also both fought in the UK.
Yes. But this is Jamie's crowning moment, and she's not going to let Tony take that away from her. And Tony Storm pretty much walked off without saying a word. I think she kind of had the final say last week, so this was Jamie's turn to kind of stand out. So, yeah, another hard-hitting women's match. I'm always here for it. And I like that they're weaving more of these into the episode, more promo segments. You know, while I would love to see more matches, this is a good start.
Agreed, and I think it was a very good promo. It's probably one of the best ones I've seen Jamie do since she's gotten back, in AEW. And I'm excited for the match. They both have very similar styles, so I'm excited to see how it goes. And then, yeah, just the accent off is always wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh boy, yeah, we'll get to that in a second.
My man.
Next we had MJF versus Shawn Dean. For those who are on social media and follow MJF, you would have seen a picture of him with his cat, and basically that was what he was doing to prepare for this match with Shawn Dean. But maybe he should have done a little more homework, given how this turned out. Given the social media post, we had a stay home and pet your cat sign in the audience. We also had a MJF puts tomatoes in his gumbo sign. Some ones that just kind of stood out to me as really funny. Thank you so much. I actually got it from Disney. The Evil Queen is on it, and yeah, it's amazing. Elvis not a fan of how everything turned out, and we will break it all down. Shawn Dean kind of dressed for war here. Had his beret and his face paint and everything. It looked like he was ready to throw down. But MJF starts playing to the crowd, hitting a move and then being MJF pretty much. I don't really need to explain that. But then we suddenly get a backstage shot where we've got some deceased security members, fresh crime scene, and one of them is suspiciously missing a shirt. MJF, of course, getting kind of concerned, moves to the outside where we then see a masked security member approach the ringside, and lo and behold, it is our Lord and Savior Wardlow, come to save us from the tyranny of MJF.
One guy lost his mind.
Yes, there was a guy that was literally right next to the action, and he could not have been more excited. Wardlow has that effect on people, because last week there was also a guy who was walking behind him that was very excited.
Hey man, it's the Wardlow effect.
Yeah, he's definitely becoming a very strong homegrown star. Like, people are yearning to see Wardlow. But in his inexperience, we'll chalk that up to kayfabe inexperience. He did not get his hands on MJF when he could. He was cheesing it to the camera because he's so smart. But MJF books it. Shawn Spears then hits him with a chair in the back that he completely no-sells. He just turns around and is ready to throw down with Shawn Spears when all of a sudden Security members start pouring from the backstage, and in an effort to try to get a cheap shot on Wardlow while he's being held back by no lie like 25 security guards, Bryce Remsburg is counting out MJF. And right as we get to 9, MJF grabs a microphone. He says, Bryce, whatever they're paying you, I'll triple it. Do not count me out. Unfortunately, as Elvis indicates here, Bryce Remsburg did his job, counted to 10, and Shawn Dean has another recorded win over MJF, and that is 3 in total over the Pinnacle. Obviously, MJF is not happy about this. Wardlow is escorted from the building, but before he goes, he beats up some more security. I don't know how he had. It's not an official, I guess, so he can't be fined for beating up security. But that seems kind of silly to me. But anyway, he tells MJF that he's literal crime scene, body outlines and everything. It was tragic. But he lets MJF know he's not going to stop until he gets what he wants and is released from his contract. And MJF almost does hit Bryce, which would have cost him tens of thousands of dollars.
Bryce was going to hit him back.
Oh, it's true. Elvis says it doesn't count. Unfortunately, wins and losses in AEW do count, and it's a count out. The referee's word at the end is law.
Like
yes.
Judge Dredd.
Yes, he is. He is very. Oh my God. Anyway, Joker. This match was something else. I know. Obviously, very happy that we're returning to this whole Shawn Dean with his obscure victories. Also, I think he technically has some firsts under his belt. Now he has the first win by disqualification via. Win via disqualification and win via countout, right?
Well, I think he got the first DQ win of this year. I think there's only been like 2, or actually it might have been the first one on Dynamite though.
Maybe, I'm not sure. They didn't.
I think that might have been it.
They didn't super clarify, but they made it very, very clear that he was setting some records here. So yeah, how many more weeks of Wardlow murdering security guards do you think we have in our future?
Well, I guess none, because he's got a match next Wednesday. So
yes, we will talk about that here in just a moment. We do hear from MJF again before the evening is out. Next, we hear from my favorite goth. Darby Allin has a promo where he
in Atlanta.
In Atlanta, yeah. Oh my God, he lives here. There are so many wrestlers that live here. I am always like I'm not the type to fangirl. I mean, you know what we do in our spare time, but I just in the grocery store or at the gas station, I just want to see them. They're so cool. But anyway, Darby has a promo. He's skateboarding, a lot of brooding, and he challenges Andrade to a coffin match. That's pretty much all you need to know about this.
That's pretty much all there was to it.
Yeah. Oh, he's gonna put a nail in it. That was that was the zinger. That was the punchline. House of Black promo next. Interesting question here. Did House of Black get demoted to catering? You know, Elvis, is a very interesting question. We're still getting the promos. I'm disappointed with the Julia Hart situation. You guys know, if you've been watching the show for a while, that I have been calling for Julia to do this turn for months now. And the fact that we can say months is a problem. It is no longer hot and spicy. I don't know. It would have to be something. Maybe I'll eat my words in 2 weeks, but I feel like this should have happened already. Joker, what do you think?
Well, I guess, but I don't know. They keep doing tiny little tidbits here and there on Dark and Elevation and stuff to, kind of play with it, especially with the fact that she's starting to show some discoloration under her eye patch and everything, and especially with Malachi's whole half of his face Black at this point. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of enjoying it because for me, it's kind of like a when will it happen sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm kind of just like I'm on the opposite side of it. I'm like waiting for it because I feel like it's like at this point for me, it's like okay, they must be holding it for something. So like, what are they holding it for? When is it gonna pop out? You know, when is it gonna go boo? You know what I mean? Like that's how it feels more like for me.
Good point, Victor.
I was about to say Vic's got a point. Vic's got
Not nearly as long. Elvis, sometimes a man of culture. Sometimes it's things that are outlandish, but I do agree with this one.
Facts.
Mercedes Martinez should get the title shot. Yeah, Mercedes has made her debut, and we haven't seen too much of her outside of a couple of key matches. I'm hoping to see more of her in the future for sure. The House of Black promo, I don't know. Malachi speaks in riddles, and I am sure that there is somebody online who has dissected his every word, his every promo to figure out the hidden message woven between the words. But unfortunately, I am too tired to do that. But essentially, as we touched on earlier, he says that he is cutting this promo by himself because he wants people to fear the shadows. So we never know where or when members of the House of Black will show up. Ooh, spooky. Yeah, it's that, and then maybe catering, according to Elvis. We did then get the match between Jericho, Hager, and Garcia represented here versus Eddie Kingston and Proud and Powerful. Yours and Puerto Rican Princess's best friend, Santana and Ortiz. This was a pretty good match. Eddie got a pretty huge pop here. Like, I know everybody sings Judas because that's the thing. I feel like less and less people are singing it these days, just because Jericho's kind of going down this really asshole-ish path.
But we still love him.
But we still love him, and we still sing it. Ortiz comes out with the shoes. We found the shoes. They are around Ortiz's neck.
They parade around the ring with the shoes.
You
Took
know,
me out.
Sometimes it's just like that. If you steal a man's shoes, you got to let the people know. Oh, yes. I'm so sorry. There is another comment that I wanted to touch on here because Victor said it best. Yes. Then JR saw his twin in the audience. And
Younger twin.
I was cackling because it zeroed in on this guy and it was dead silent. And all of a sudden,
Bruh.
wait a minute.
Bruh. What? That shit was so funny. And then Buddy noticed himself being videoed, and he was like lost his mind in the last moment. I was like, oh my god,
Hilarity.
We just saw JR in the past, but just as a fan, it's amazing.
Wow, but yeah, that I was cackling.
Real quick, she's having a qualifier match for the Owen Hart tournament next week.
Oh, okay.
Because they'll be in Britsburg.
It's true. Is Britt getting her rematch? It seems like with this tournament, she may be shifting gears, but they haven't really said what the winner gets. Like, I don't know what prize there is for winning the tournament other than being.
I think it's a title match.
Is it a title match?
I think so.
Well, maybe, but there's still a lot of top contenders. I feel like there are plenty of other women on the roster who should get a crack at the championship.
Ruby Soho has a match against
Robin Renegade.
Robin Renegade to get in. So yeah, there's gonna be some big names in there. Excited to see how it goes.
Agreed. I don't think it's time for Britt to get her rematch. She just lost the title. Let's let us miss her a little bit. But back to the match. Jericho and Santana started things off. Eddie and Ortiz taking great pleasure in attacking Hager and Garcia on the outside. Later on in the match, Eddie did get the hot tag against Garcia. 2.0 run in, and Ortiz does a dive. That was pretty sick because it was like a suicide dive, but then also a flip. It's really cool.
It was like on Helio.
Yeah, that. The back fist was countered. Jericho hit Eddie in the spine. I think it was with a kendo stick, but it was hard to tell because the way the camera was angled, you could tell he hit him with something, but not confirmed what it was. But Garcia did get the win, and the Jericho Appreciation Society attacks after the bell. The numbers game winning out yet again. Joker, I feel like it truly is only a matter of time before somebody shows up to, like, they keep bringing up the numbers game.
There has to be two other people that are getting in on this, and I don't know who it is. I don't know if it's supposed to be Homicide and somebody from LAX. I don't know. I'm out of. There's so many people that it could be. It could be somebody that we have no idea, like, has a connection. Because I mean, all these guys have done so much on the independent scene. There are so many people that it could be.
Yeah.
So, who knows? Maybe even Cesaro comes in and saves Eddie. Who knows? I don't know. Nothing makes sense.
Nothing makes sense.
Look, man, there's so many possibilities. My brain can't fathom who all it possibly could be.
Yeah. Especially with whatever the huge announcement is that Tony has next week. Not sure what it is there. Last time he bought a whole wrestling company, so
right,
could literally be anything.
Completely.
Victor with an interesting question here. Next men's tournament match. I think before we ended Dynamite, we saw Jungle Boy will be facing Kyle O'Reilly for one of the tournament brackets. I'm not sure if there are any other ones that are currently being advertised, but that is the most recent one. So yeah, I also agree the possibilities are endless on who it could be. We'll just have to wait and see, as we say around here. MJF promo in the back with Alex Marvez, touching again on what we witnessed earlier. Marvez kind of chuckling to himself about the events, and MJF is pissed. He's like, oh, you think it's funny? Obviously no sympathy for the devil, but he doesn't need our sympathy because he has money. And he basically has Mark read off the contract that MJF is able to book or not book Wardlow at his discretion. And so instead of keeping him at home, which obviously is no longer working, he is now going to start paying people ridiculous amounts of money to brutalize this man. And so he try. Yeah, I mean, Wardlow's a big, strong boy. Obviously, he had to be held back by 25 security guards, so I don't know how much of a threat the Butcher's going to be, but that is the first on the chopping block to face Wardlow next week. Yeah, got a pretty serious growl from the Butcher to end the promo.
It was a war face.
Looked like he was doing the Acclaimed. I don't know. Wardlow's probably going to wipe the floor with him, in all honesty. I think over the next couple of weeks, we will watch MJF pay people more and more to chip away at Wardlow, leading up to the eventual match at Double or Nothing, where Wardlow will be severely handicapped given the past, it'll be like, 6 weeks worth of matches if he has one every week?
Yeah, potentially.
So, while MJF is fresh as a daisy.
Or pansy.
Or pansy. Hey, man. Pansy ass. I don't write the stuff. Probably Tony announcing an agreement with Warner Media and Ring of Honor. Ooh, that could be very interesting. Definitely would be on board for that. Obviously, a lot of I almost wanted to say cross-contamination, but that sounds awful. A lot of guest appearances between both
cross-branding.
Cross-brand, thanks. Guys, see, this is why Joker really is in charge. I promise you he is. Next, we had Marina Shafir making her Dynamite debut against Sky Blue. And not a whole lot to touch on here. This match was pretty brief. Marina came out in her usual fashion, not a whole lot of fanfare, just the music, taking off the sweatshirt. Sky Blue already in the ring. Jade Cargill shot backstage with Mark Sterling, watching the match, if you will.
Mark is watching.
Mark is watching, trying to take notes. Jade is not giving it the time of day. She's on her phone, she's not paying attention. We do zero in on her baddie section. I'm going to talk about it every week until I'm on the bed. If I become part of the baddie section, you guys will it'll be even better than being the UPR champ. I'm sorry. I will never shut up about it. But interestingly enough, Red Velvet and Kiera Hogan making appearances in Jade's baddie section. Do you think that this hints at a potential faction for Jade? Maybe that's why she is unbothered by the threat of Marina Shafir?
Possibly, especially with, having Kiera Hogan and Red Velvet there. Very interested in seeing where that all leads. I think that she could be creating a faction. And if she does that, we legitimately could see 50-0 for Jade Cargill before she hits, before she loses her championship.
Absolutely.
Brief. Marina Shafir did what she's been doing since she's gotten here. She brutalized the poor child. That finisher looks like it hurts so bad. I don't really know what it's called, but it's basically a crossface, but with a leg capture as well. And that's absolutely no. I'm sorry, not a crossface, a triangle with a leg capture. And that's terrible because the triangle by itself sucks.
She was making her wave at the baddie section.
I know. I love the playfulness. Very, very violent playfulness. Yeah, she does.
That's why, if anybody should know, it's Dante Martin, apparently. Allegedly. Anyway. Heavy boos, obviously, from the baddie section. Jade continuing to be unimpressed, even with the victory. I guess, we'll just have to wait and see. This is the match. Is that happening at Battle of the Belts too, or is that happening on Rampage? I don't know when she's supposed to defend the title.
Not to mention, I'm not sure because I didn't see a graphic for it when they went over everything for the Battle of the Belts. The only stuff that they went over was the Sammy Guevara versus Scorpio Sky, the Nyla Rose versus Thunder Rosa, and the Ring of Honor championship match between Jonathan Gresham and Dalton Castle. So, not sure.
Maybe they're leaving it for something to announce on Rampage.
Possibly.
Maybe that is the plan, but, they're able to usually fit 4 matches onto an hour-long show like Rampage, so adding at least one more match. I wouldn't say any more than one more match to Battle of the Belts is feasible, I think.
If it's going to be the hour.
All right, everybody. Excellent time to take a break. Still have a lot to cover here on this Dynamite recap and review. Stick with us. We'll be right back after these messages.
Stand still and die! For a guy named Knuckles, you are really bad at punching.
What's happening?
Okay, quick version. Robotnik is back.
I discovered the source of ultimate power.
We need to get it back before the world is doomed.
You're unskilled, untrained, unworthy.
You forgot one. Unstoppable.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. No spoilers in the comments. We have not seen that movie yet, although we do know that Idris Elba plays Knuckles, and it is now canon that he's black. So that is something.
Woot.
Moving right along, we had a Hook promo again this week. He almost spoke this time. He parted his lips. He was definitely going to say something, but stupid Tony Nese and his tiny knees came in to disrupt with Mark Sterling, his new representative, basically knowing that the camera was going to be anywhere that Hook was, which, how could you not? Look at him. But of course, they knew that they would never want to interview somebody who actually worked for their how did he put it? Basically, he's worked for his opportunities versus Hook, who's just been handed them because Taz is his dad. But they quickly back off when Hook looks like he's going to make an attempt at trying to shut them up. And then Joker, I'll let you talk about the next part.
And then we were blessed as usual by my main man Danhausen with the fit, looking clean as always.
Look at those knees.
They're not tiny like Tony Nese's. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, man.
To which then Hook throws the medicine ball that he is holding behind him without even looking and knocking out Danhausen as he was trying to curse him. Hook, once again, showing that he is impervious to Danhausen and his abilities. And just Danhausen, once again, is going to try and figure out another way to curse Hook and reactivate his powers.
Agreed.
I'm always happy to see Danhausen.
I was going to say, how long do you think until we see Danhausen in the ring? I mean, I know he's kind of been doing the off the side stuff with Best Friends and now with Hook. But obviously he's able to take some kind of bump since he caught and stumbled with that medicine ball.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm trying to remember the guy's name from GCW. One of the GCW wrestlers also got injured with the same injury, and I think he's back to wrestling now. So it's only a matter of time. I'm sure Tony trying to keep, wants to make sure that Danhausen is 100% before he gets, even steps foot in between those ropes.
For sure.
But it seems like it could be quite soon. I was expecting to see him at Double or Nothing at the latest, but at this rate, we might be seeing him a little bit earlier. Yep. Who knows?
It is also mentioned that Hook will be making his Dynamite debut soon.
Yes.
So obviously, we've seen him on Rampage, we've seen him on pay-per-view pre-shows and everything with his match with QT Marshall. So yeah, making his Dynamite debut, very exciting stuff for him.
Yeah, and Danhausen's going to have to get in that ring eventually if he keep messing with Hook.
It's true. I think, obviously beyond Tony Nese, we might get a couple more weeks of funny curse videos, but I think Danhausen might be, in his sights for real. Yeah,
especially when I'm taking that bump today. I was like, okay, I didn't see any kind of like restraints or anything or, supportive gear.
Right, no braces or anything.
Yeah, no
like
braces or anything. Thank you for the word braces. So yeah, it looks like he's looking good. He's getting close to about the same size he was before he had his injury. So looking soon to see Danhausen back in the ring, which is very exciting because he's actually a really good wrestler.
As goofy as he is, yes,
he's on some Orange Cassidy stuff. For anybody who's wondering.
Yeah, like let's be realistic about what we're going to see from Danhausen. But yes, very talented. And can't wait to see him in the ring, if nothing else, to get your reaction, because I know you're a very big fan of his. Next, we've talked about it a couple of times, but this is the segment that officially announces the title match between Scorpio Sky and Sammy Guevara at Battle of the Belts. Basically, just kind of harping back to last week, all the crap that Sammy and Ty Conti have put the men of the year through, which, to be fair, the men of the year are heels, and I don't like Dan Lambert at all. But Sammy and Ty have not really been acting like baby faces. We've talked about it a couple times over the past few weeks. It smashed up his car, obviously talking about all the sexy stuff that they did with the belts. Just very interesting character choices here. And I'm wondering if this came about so quickly because the fans have not been behind this at all. Kind of doing the match at Battle of the Belts to nip this in the bud. I'm wondering if it was supposed to run for several more weeks. Obviously in this promo segment, Dan Lambert bringing up the proposed mixed tag team match between Paige Van Zandt and would have been either one of the men of the year, I think, versus Sammy and Ty. And we don't know if or when that's going to happen. But Scorpio basically saying that he is going to, Sammy crawled back to management for this title match after all that talk, from the past few weeks, and he's going to get the ass whooping he deserves. Title change here, or just another notch in Scorpio's belt?
As much as I'm surprised that I'm saying this, I mean, not now, but I mean, had you caught me at the end of his reign, regardless, I think Scorpio should retain here, especially given that, there's definitely a disconnect with the crowd and Sammy's character at this point, and I'm interested to see what they are, if they are indeed trying to, change his alignment or anything like that, or if they're just going to have to, based on how things have been going. But yeah, I think Scorpio should continue his reign. This streak that he has, I forget how many days he's up to, but he's well over a year of being undefeated in singles competition, as well as having this belt. So it's going to really, truly mean something when somebody finally beats him, heel shenanigans and all.
Agreed.
It's really going to mean something when whoever dethrones Scorpio.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think it should be Sammy. So,
yeah, I agree. I think the streak is far more interesting than anything that Sammy was even doing when he had the title. As much as he has some really great matches that were kind of isolated incidents, Scorpio's kind of threading a story together and making the championship work for him. And I definitely want to see more of that. I do think, just like you said, heel shenanigans, it will stick with him for quite a long time. Between all the American top team members, he's going to have to, someone would have to work through to get to the belt in the first place.
Exactly.
So we will have to wait and see about that. But yeah, Scorpio, he was impressive to me when he was tag team champion. So I'm glad he's gotten another belt to walk around with for a little while.
Oh yeah, he's deserved the singles title for quite a while now. So I was very happy when he won, to be completely honest, and I enjoy them into the year because they're just a bunch of dickheads. Dan Lambert could, it's Dan Lambert, whatever. Look, man, I mean, look, Dan's good at getting heat, and even though it makes a lot of people go, ugh, it still works. And I feel like Dan is a heel that works for this company. As much as I hate him being around, it's kind of like MJF. I hate him being around, but he works for the company. So
yeah,
how upset can I truly be? I mean, it's kind of his job for me to be upset at him. So, I mean,
just means he's doing a good
job. Yeah, right. He's doing a good job. So, yeah, but all that said, I definitely want to see Scorpio hold on to that title for a good long minute. I mean, at least till All Out. Me personally.
Next, we have the hometown hero, Ricky Starks, and his tag team partner, Powerhouse Hobbs, representing Team Taz, facing Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee. Those two look so cool coming down to the ring. And then poor Ricky was just trying to hold it together. Like
boy was about to bawl his eyes out.
They kept zooming in on this poor face, and he was doing everything in his power to hold it. More power to him, because he did not let a single tear escape the eyelids. Like, he truly, like, through every gritted face and shake of his head, he definitely was holding on for dear life.
They were camping out. They were ready.
Yeah,
at a moment's notice. He was like, no, get back in there, Tia.
But yeah, huge for him to perform in front of the hometown. But the hometown crowd showing a lot of love for the team of Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee, which helps not, because like I said, yes, mostly Keith Lee. But Swerve has a way of winning people over before, like, once a match is done. So I feel like it's only a matter of time before he gets that level of respect, like, from jump. You know what I mean?
And I feel like in certain areas he does.
He's huge here.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, in certain areas he does. It was just, they were in Ricky's area. However, Keith's from Texas. So, Texas. There's plenty. Texas, Texas. There's enough of them, or enough people that are, fans of Keith Lee. Plus, Keith Lee is just Keith Lee. So, I mean, he has quite the presence, a very large back and a very large chest.
It's a big boy.
That's a big mother, bruh. that is one of the biggest human beings because it's not like he's just big, like tall, like he's just so gigantic. The man's 350 pounds and has 350 no titties, man.
I know, 350 no titties.
He's got abs.
It's wild. Yeah, his physique, his
athleticism.
His athleticism, like he's an all-around athlete, in the sport. And I think that he's an excellent sign for AEW. I mean, you saw it in this match. He was having a lot of fun with some of the things that they were able to pull off together.
Yeah, that jump he did over Hobbs to make Hobbs spear Ricky, and then just all the little dumb stuff, like him using his chest as a launch pad for Swerve to jump off the top rope and then jump off of Lee. Keith Lee did not move. Swerve's what? Like 220 something, 230 something?
Yeah, I mean, he's a tall lad.
Swerve's not a small guy. So the fact that he legitimately used Keith as a launch pad, and Keith did not move. Like, he just stood there, held onto the ropes, and just...
Yeah.
Absolutely magnificent moonsault by Swerve off of Keith Lee. I told Divine during the broadcast, I would not be upset if they became a tag team. Like, legitimately. I've been enjoying them that much.
Yeah, I think it's possible. I mean, the singles landscape is bound to change after Double or Nothing, but if neither one of them is slated to do anything of substance, I mean, they're very good together and could probably have a decent run. I just want to see more of them on my screen. They're very fun, and they pull off some pretty amazing moves. Going into the rest of the match, Ricky did a crazy spear onto Swerve, like in midair. Swerve did like a midair missile drop kick. Like, there were a lot of crazy moves in this match. They were doing Ricky with a flying DDT.
That wasn't even a flying DDT. It was like the only thing I can equate that to was he basically did a Canadian Destroyer, but in DDT form. So he did it from the side instead of flipping over. Like, that was one of the craziest things I've ever seen, because it stumped Excalibur for a moment, which is very hard to do because it seems like Excalibur has seen pretty much every wrestling move that's ever been done until Ray Phoenix does something. And I personally, I can't remember a time where I've seen somebody in this fashion do, like I said, the closest thing I could equate it to would be a Canadian Destroyer, but as a DDT. And it looked absolutely phenomenal. Just another showing of how amazing Swerve is. And Ricky both, because it takes two to tango, especially in this business.
Yep. And
so those guys went out there and put on a hell of a match. A lot of moves that I've never seen done before. It was just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Taz then makes an appearance to some ECW chants. Hobbs then, looking kind of dicey there because he goes into the ring post. Ricky then spears Keith Lee, but then Keith Lee holds him on top of himself so that Swerve will be able to hit him with a what was it, a 450?
Yeah, it was 450.
Crazy amount of offense back and forth, but essentially in the end, Taz grabs Keith Lee's foot, causing him to stumble, opening the opportunity for Hobbs to hit him with that signature spinebuster for the 1-2-3. And the hometown hero does get the win, so he's able to celebrate with the crowd. But Hobbs gets a much-needed on-screen Dynamite victory. Like, I think this was really good for him and pushing his career forward, for sure.
Now, Victor...
I was just about to talk about that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure, man. The last tag I saw was for Hobbs to tag in Ricky. Now, a lot of stuff happened between then and there, and I don't think Hobbs got in immediately. I believe it was a line tag, and then they eventually both spilled out into the ring because Keith Lee threw Ricky out of the ring immediately thereafter. But if memory serves me correctly, I believe Hobbs was the legal man towards the end of that match. I will also agree with this. Man, if Mark Henry moved like that back in the day, man, It'd been a whole different ball game.
Agreed. Another women's wrestling segment here. Thunder Rosa hearing from our champion backstage and talking about her title victory, but also about her defending against Nyla at the Battle of the Belts. Obviously, plugging Saturday pretty hard. Nyla then interrupts with Vicky Guerrero. They bring a cake because, you know, they're celebrating the world's shortest title reign. But they didn't get any words on the cake because Nyla says she's not worth that much. Essentially, Thunder smashes the cake into Nyla's face. Nyla accidentally hits Vicky and knocks her out, but then gets some revenge on Thunder Rosa. And in the end, she loves cake and violence.
Nyla has the best one-liners in the company, bar none. Okay, like Danhausen may have really funny situational comedy, but Nyla Rose be coming with the one-liners, man. Like, I love her on Twitter. I love that it translates, like, you know, actually on the screen. So I always appreciate that. Yeah, she shit whipped Thunder Rosa into those cargo roadie crates. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man.
Like the way Rosa just plopped on the ground, I was like, is she okay? Like, great selling. I'm actually pretty interested in this match, to be completely honest, because Thunder Rosa can throw down, and Nyla has proven time and time again that she can put on an absolutely amazing match, especially with the David and Goliath effect.
Yeah, for sure. Elvis says Thunder Rosa has cake.
She does.
No, Elvis. Nyla has cake. Keep up.
Well, Thunder Rosa does have cakes.
She does. In all seriousness.
Rose likes cakes.
And violence. Hangman versus Cole promo, just plugging the Texas Death Match that we will see on Rampage. Obviously, that will be live. We've talked about it a couple times throughout the course of the evening. But yes, plugging that Hangman essentially is out to murder Adam Cole to teach him a lesson. And Cole just wants to be able to look himself in the mirror and know he's the best. Oh no, not a pancake. Not a pancake. Well, look, in comparison to like a Nikita Lyons, then I mean, yeah, but and look, we watched NXT. If you missed it, Joker was on the NXT review last night.
Go check it out. Me and Bad Guy Jack. Also check out my boy Bad Guy Jack tomorrow night during the Sonic 2 review because we love Sonic. Okay.
Damn, you can plug that, but you can't plug your team? No confidence.
Woo, go team!
I am screaming.
Also, check out Family Feud at 8:30. Go team.
Victor, I'll be honest, I will not be putting those on the screen. We support trans and LGBTQ plus community members here. Nyla identifies as a woman. Nyla is a woman. Ooh, Joker, you gonna lose.
Hey, I respect healthy competition, and probably Jeff's our captain, so I don't have high hopes.
Main event time. Classic. It's time for the motion. There's been enough time. Well, honestly, neither of these men spoke a word, but they said everything they needed to say with their fists. Samoa Joe versus Minoru Suzuki for the Ring of Honor TV title. Elvis, you threw off my groove.
Yeah, I got you. First 10 minutes of this match was them beating the hell out of each other. Like, literally. They both have busted blood vessels and all kinds of just raw hamburger meat on both of their chests. Like, man, I have never seen like we have some stiff guys in AEW. Like we've seen some serious slobber knockers as far as like two Rams just butting heads, but I have yet to see a match. Even when he went against Moxley, even when he went against this being Suzuki, even when he went against Kingston, no one has went chop for chop with Minoru Suzuki for that long like Samoa Joe. Those
you could see the hits like through their chest into the back. Like I was shocked with how hard they were hitting each other for so long.
Like it was probably legitimately like 5 minutes in, and I was like, yo, they haven't done any wrestling. They have just been beating that match of the night, obviously, but they were beating the absolute hell out of each other. That was amazing. It was everything I wanted it to be. Yes, Victor, it was a complete chop fest, slap fest, forearm, headbutts, literally everything, and they would not fall down. Suzuki hit the ropes a couple of times. Joe, hit a knee once or twice, but like they just kept going, and I was like, somebody's gonna lose feeling in their arms. But then they just, eventually they finished butting heads and they kept it going.
Yeah. We thought we had seen a rumor at one point saying that the match was going to go over. And they did emphasize quite a few times that they were planning to stick with it for as long as possible. And potentially it would go beyond the hour or, the going into the 10 o'clock hour. Just a couple of things also to note about the beginning of the match. The Ring of Honor announcer, Bobby Cruz, did make the announcement for both of them. I think we will be seeing him a lot more, especially associated with Ring of Honor specific matches.
I appreciate that detail.
Agreed. And then Jay Lethal and Sanjay were at ringside, obviously, with the very special present for his mentor, Samoa Joe, which we will get to in just a moment. But yes, we thought it was going to go a lot longer. So I didn't take as many notes on this, but there wasn't a whole lot of like, I don't want to say high spots. This was just two guys like literally just beating each other down until one of them just could not.
Oh yeah, no, this was a good old fashioned just shoot beat down of each other. Like you watched two old dogs of war go at it. That was pretty much what this match was, and that's all it needed to be. Yep. It was hard hitting. It was very entertaining, at least for my tastes in wrestling. And yeah, not a lot of words, just mostly hands and feet and some good stretches in there. Some good Suzuki almost got him, with a rear naked choke. Teased the Gotch style pile driver, which he has done on people bigger than Joe before, so it's not out of the realm of possibility for him. Yeah, great match. Man, it was everything I needed it to be.
Yep.
Muscle Buster.
Yes, Muscle Buster for the win. Samoa Joe, your Ring of Honor TV champ. Not entirely surprising. I know that there have been a lot of talks, behind the scenes of Tony Khan, I guess, Ring of Honor, AEW collective, planning to do a lot more work with New Japan as the COVID restrictions ease and travel becomes a lot easier between the two countries. So I wasn't entirely surprised to see Minoru Suzuki lose it here to Joe, who's obviously more of a full-time figure for Ring of Honor or AEW, depending on what show he ends up on. Because we're seeing more of Yuta, but he's the Ring of Honor pure champion, so maybe we'll be seeing a lot more champions across the board.
Give me Gresham.
Ooh, he's coming. We're seeing him at Battle of the Belts.
I need him versus Danielson immediately.
I know. It's going to be so good.
So good.
Jay Lethal's present pretty much just equated to a big old middle finger. And then the lights
and an
go
even
out.
Bigger middle finger.
Yes. Well, here's the thing. So the lights go out, and based on the promo earlier with, the House of Black, talking about being afraid of the shadows and everything like that, I was like, oh man, are the House of Black going to get involved? Like, what's going on here? No. Just a very, very large. Oh, look! Thank you so much, Victor. Victor always coming in clutch, man.
Satnam Singh debuted. He is a basketball player, and he is gigantic.
He is huge.
Yo, that's a big boy.
Agreed.
That's a big boy.
He's agreed. Who? I didn't know who that was, except
I didn't either. I'm not about to sit here and act like I don't watch basketball. I didn't know.
Very, very large. Now that you know his name, feel free to look him up. Not sure what team he plays for. Maybe Victor will be so kind as to fill us in in the comments.
The Monstars.
Not the Monstars. Jesus Christ.
Man is like 8'7", and like he didn't even like push the ring ropes down to step over them. Like he just stepped over the ring ropes. That's a lot of dude. Just throwing that out there.
Yep, and it seems like Jay Lethal and Sanjay are obviously in a position to kind of put him over. He kind of strikes me as just big muscle. See you tomorrow. Can't wait for Family Feud. He plays for the Grizzlies. Thank you, Victor. Plays for the Grizzlies.
He's bigger than a bear. So that makes sense.
Yeah, it's true.
He could probably suplex a bear.
He could suplex a bear. Oh, bear country.
Hook could also suplex a bear. I could see Hook suplexing a bear.
He suplexed bear country. To me, that he suplexed a bear.
He did suplex bear country. Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, pretty much Joe gets beat down after the match. That was the last note that I had here, that he pretty much just got his ass beat. He is 7'2". I don't know if this is a real fact or not. Elvis, you be speaking propaganda in the comments sometimes. But I believe it. I believe that he is 7'2". He's a Care Bear. I'm screaming.
That is not what Care Bears look like, sir.
We can definitely talk about it later. So yes, Mr. Singh, I don't know in what capacity he will be on any of the shows, whether that be AEW or Ring of Honor. 7'2". Jesus Christmas.
He's 26 years old.
Oh, how?
Oh my God. Okay.
Singh versus Wardlow? That would be... Man, there are not very many people on the roster who can make Wardlow look small. That would be one of them.
There's literally nobody on the roster that can stand eye to eye with that man right now. The closest thing we've got is Lance Archer and Boulder and Brody King.
Jay and Sanjay looked like they needed to just be like hanging off of his arms or something. Like he is just massive.
Sit on his shoulders. He's so big.
He is a very large man. The crowd obviously kind of disappointed, especially with the long lights out segment. Obviously, Mr. Singh not an active wrestler, so I'm sure it took him an extra minute to move all of that large mass into the ring from wherever he was hiding. How do you hide a 7'2" man? Anyway, the crowd seemed a little disappointed with the debut. If you don't know who he is, then good point.
Want him to die?
Maybe he meant who could stand eye to eye with him.
I mean, yeah, but I meant like in fight.
Oh well.
Yes, Paul? Victor. Paul. Yes. It's Paul could stand eye to eye.
I'm sorry. He has entrance music, which means he's contracted to fight. So, Paul, if it takes out the hip, sorry, you should have thought about that before you signed a wrestler's contract and not a commentator's contract. See, Paul White is ready for the smoke. Okay, look.
I know he wrestles on. You know what? Never mind. I'm not gonna have this. Yes, he can fight. All
Well,
right. If y'all, it's the ER. Okay.
not
That's
the,
where
oh
Paul's
no.
going. That's where Paul's going to go if y'all put him with Satnam Singh.
I'm screaming.
He's a quarter of his age.
I know. That's all right, everybody. Yes, 7-2. Thanks so much for sticking around with us for all the happenings this week on AEW Dynamite. This has been the recap and review. I am Divine Intervention, your UPR champion. 3 times, baby. 3 times.
Damn right.
Joined, as always, by All Elite Joker.
Damn right again.
I'm screaming. Thanks, everybody, and catch us next Wednesday. Catch us tomorrow night. Family Feud.
Woo, go team. Yeah.
Peace.